viewers, welcome to another exciting segment of A Day with Your Fertility Specialist, brought to you by Alps Hospital and Diagnostics. I'm delighted to be your host, and my name is Esther Benjamin. Okay, very quickly, would like to apologize to you all for last week. We experienced some technical issues, and that's why we're not able to bring to you live. We are very sorry about that. But today promises to be insightful, exciting, what have you. It's going to be a pack full. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to all our viewers for liking, sharing, and following our page at Alps Hospital and Diagnostics. We're going to be talking about something very, very interesting, which is lifestyle practices and fertility. Get glued to your screen. So to join us for this conversation is someone I call Dr. Amazing. Yes, because he's absolutely amazing. He's someone who is making giant strides in his field currently. He is Dr. Kenneth Egwuda. He is a consultant gynecologist. As a matter of fact, this man is one of the most spoken about IVF specialists currently in the country. Guest, aren't we just so lucky to have him here with us? Good evening, sir. Welcome. It's good to have you today, sir.
Thanks for your kind words. I'm flattered.
Oh, really? Okay. Did I forget to mention that Dr. Kenneth Egwuda is also a minimal access surgeon? Just so much for one person. I'm extremely excited. All right, so viewers, back to our topic. We are talking about lifestyle practices and fertility. But before we start, what exactly is this fertility thing, sir? Because, you know, I've heard a lot of times, especially among African men, they feel like they are 100% fertile and all they need is just one night with a woman to give her triplets. So, how can we say that a person is fertile? Really, sir? You know, a lot of times they just feel like all they need is just one night and then that woman can have triplets. So, when can we say that a man or a woman are fertile, or when is a fertile period for a man and a woman?
Well, it's nice being with you on set. You know, I heard a story some couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
A guy was married to a lady in some part of Nigeria, and then a young lady, he's also a young man.
Okay.
You know, and then they've been together for a while, like 5 to 6 years, and she wasn't getting pregnant. You know, and then he quickly took another wife.
Wow.
You know, then he now went to visit the gynecologist.
Okay.
Only to discover that he was azoospermic.
Wow.
He was without sperm.
Wow.
So this popular saying, you know, as you quoted, that just one night with a woman means pregnancy, wouldn't happen in that situation, because men have a lot of challenges with their sperms, okay? And so it's not every night with a woman that can result to pregnancy. Well, at the end of the day, he regretted marrying the second one because he found out that there were no sperms to even make any woman pregnant.
Can you imagine?
What does it actually mean? What's the benefit having two women that you can't make pregnant when you think you're marrying because of pregnancy, because of babies, you know? So sperms have a lot of problems. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, amazing.
Yeah. So with respect to the lifestyle, you know, that could affect fertility, I want to start from a very contemporary lifestyle.
Okay.
You know, these days, even a child that is just born has a phone.
Yeah, true.
Has a cell phone.
Very true, sir.
Cell phones are the pacifiers for babies, you know, and they are the toys for big guys, and they are also, you know, like the adornment for the tech ladies.
Yeah.
You know, a lady shows up with the kind of phone she has, and the guy shows up with the number of phones he has. You know, but then you see, there is the specific absorption rates that all phones have.
Wow.
iPhone has a specific absorption rate. The Samsung phones have their specific absorption rate, and there is a rate that shouldn't be exceeded. And every phone, if you care to check, has it.
Wow.
The tech companies, you know, have all of this written somewhere in the consent that you are signing, because they will not take responsibility for nothing, you know, for your ignorance. So cell phone damages sperms. I don't want to go into all the ways that the damages happen.
Viewers, I am in awe right now.
Yeah,
amazing.
Damages sperms.
Okay.
You know, and then you imagine that there were times that it was fashion to have 3 phones or 2 phones. And you know, for us guys, we carry the phones in our pockets. You know, and then it showers radiations to all the unnecessary places, including the testicles, you know, and that's where the sperms are. We have several studies, you know. The first one I encountered was from Fertility and Sterility from America, you know, that show that men having too much phones close to their bodies have low sperm counts.
Oh.
You know, and then not just low sperm counts, even the morphology of the sperm, the constituents of the sperms, the structure of the sperm is affected by all this kind of radiation, so it makes pregnancy a little bit difficult. It reduces the count of the sperms. That's not just enough for me. What bothers me is actually the future.
Yeah.
You know, the future.
Yeah, I've thought about that
you know,
a lot of times.
See, now parents give their babies the phones.
Yeah.
You know, and then the tech companies actually design phones to have a child mode. And most parents do not use a child mode, you know, and most kids actually know how to evade the child mode and go to the real stuff, internet, where they play, you know. So begin to imagine a child from the age of 4, for instance, gets showered with this radiation from the age of 4 till when he gets married at 25.
Wow.
The future actually doesn't look very bright until something is done to protect the gonads. You know, or people stick to the regulations of using all these gadgets. So this actually affects fertility. It's affecting it now. It's going to be worse in the future if nothing is done to check it. So yes, that's one major lifestyle. You know, that's one major lifestyle. I think the electronic lifestyle affecting the quality of semen. You know, like for instance, making a phone call for more than 6 minutes, having the phone attached to your head, you know, to the ear, into the minds, to the brains, dementia and all of that happening, you know. So phone can cause that much of a damage. And there are researches everywhere showing all of that.
Wow.
You know, I've said this before. I was trying to make a tea for my son, you know, some months ago, because we just watched some researches in Australia, and then one of the researches has to do with phones, and the sperms. So he requested he wanted tea before going to school. So I just rushed to the kitchen trying to get tea for him. I know I was also rushing to get to work, you know. So I just slipped the phone into my pocket, and I heard him shout,
"No!
Daddy, your phone is in your pocket! Your phone is in your pocket!" You know what? He listened to the research with me.
Wow!
So it took me a couple of seconds to understand that was what he was talking about. So I quickly realized that this guy understood, he was 6, understood the meaning of the research he watched. And so he's trying to tell me, be careful, so you don't damage your sperms.
Amazing, coming from a 6-year-old.
He was 6 when he told me all of that, you know. So,
wow.
So yeah, that's one major lifestyle. And today we have, it's like a pandemic.
Yeah.
Everyone has phone. Everyone has phone. And then these phones are not altogether safe when you talk about some health condition. In this case, we're talking about reproduction and how it affects sperms, how it even affects the babies that are in the womb, how it affects the breasts, how it affects the brain. They have little damages, and then accumulatively this can actually be very humongous.
This is amazing. Oh my God, so insightful, sir. If you had not mentioned, I wouldn't have known so many disadvantages coming from a gadget or a device that's so. At the time, I saw somewhere that working at night affects your fertility rate. All the nurses and night workers gather around. This is for you. You need to hear this.
Stress does, you know, affect fertility, and this is one thing stress does. The way stress affects fertility, you know, when an individual is stressed, depending on the cause of the stress, you know, the body releases a lot of chemicals. We call them stress hormones.
Okay.
Cortisol is one major stress hormones. one major stress hormone that
Is
the
it
body releases. So
Okay.
when cortisol is released in the body, for instance, it affects estrogen and testosterone.
Wow.
So, and when it affects estrogen, it makes ovulation becomes abnormal, because estrogen is one of the hormones that makes trigger for the ovulation hormones to be released. You understand? So it makes ovulation abnormal. That's just not all. It affects sperms. Stress, for instance, produces oxidative radicals in the human bodies. And then one major reason why sperms may not get a woman pregnant is abnormally high oxidative radicals,
Okay.
oxidative species in the human system. You know, they damage the sperms and make it unable or difficulty to achieving pregnancy.
Pregnancies.
So that's one way stress does all of those. And then it's even worse now that a lot of people are going through stress, especially if you live in Nigeria, you know, where everybody is going through one stuff or the other. Just a lot of stress. That doesn't mean people don't get pregnant when they are stressed,
Okay.
you know, but when fertility really becomes an issue, you need to really put stress in perspective. And that is why those who have poor sleep also is a stressful condition.
Okay.
Poor sleep is stressful, and then it causes cortisol to be released. And that is why some medications that are used for fertility enhancement have to do with sleep, like melatonin, for instance.
Okay.
Is a drug you take to enable you have healthy sleep.
Wow.
So you can now beginning to correlate how it helps in fertility treatment. It just helps reduce all the stressful hormones and all of that, so pregnancy can be encouraged. So stress affects the sperms, it affects the eggs, it affects conception, it affects the health entirely.
Wow, dear viewers, can you hear this? Like, wow. So you need to cut down on that stress. Despite the fact that Nigeria is getting crazy, please cut down on the stress if you're trying to achieve conception. Thank you so much, sir, for that. Okay, sir, speaking about overweight and underweight, how do they affect the ovarian reserve or ovulation and then the sperm count?
All right, so let's look at the eggs, the quality of eggs first. When a woman is overweight, you know, there are several researches that have shown that her eggs, the process of development of eggs, we call it folliculogenesis or genesis.
Okay.
There are abnormal cell divisions that happen. You know, and they produce what we call mitotic spindles. For those who do biology, it's similar, because there's hormone abnormalities, problem with sperm production, and once there's a problem with sperm production, abnormality with sperms, then you have difficulty with achieving pregnancy. So yes, overweight is just not good for the guy or for the ladies. Yeah, they affect fertility pursuit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, sir, what's the ideal body weight for both a male and a female?
Now, ideal body weight. Now it depends on a whole lot. The ideal body weight used to be around 70, 72, 74, but then it depends on the height of the person.
Okay.
You know, the person should just, based on the height of the individual, should be within the normal body mass index, the BMI. You know, so the person may be short, but should have the ideal weight that to give the normal body mass index between 19 to 23.5, no more than 24. When it's getting beyond 25, the BMI, then you begin to deal with overweight and obesity, and then pregnancy and pregnancy-related complications. You know, we have when I was training at the University of Warwick, and then you have then the NHS takes care of the fertility treatment. And then with my own batch of training, we have when women are overweight, they are not even treated.
Wow. Because
you're going to waste government's money, you know, public funds. So they're advised to go shed weight and come for fertility treatment. And that is how it should be everywhere. Anybody who is overweight should actually work on the weight before embarking on fertility treatment. So you reduce the rate of failure the rate of complications that will come should there be pregnancy. And so there's no ideal weight per se, but it should be tailored to the normal ratio of the body mass index. But if you must ask me to put a weight in perspective, I should say 72, 70, 74.
Okay.
Yeah.
For both male and female.
It should be fine, you know. Yeah, for the weight, that should be a fair weight.
Okay.
You know, but then if a woman is underweight, for instance, below 45, there's also problems with the hormones.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. And then you have abnormality with hormone we call leptin. And then it may affect our ability to ovulate. And that is the problem you have with the models, you know, who have to be skinny. They get so skinny to the point that the fats and the water balance in the body is just very abnormal, and they are not ovulating, not producing good eggs, and all of that. Even though they don't really care, because modeling doesn't go with conception
and childbearing.
But yes, that's what happened for those who may be wanting to get pregnant and are on the weight. So sometimes you just have to add on some weight, so you'll get to that weight where conception is friendly. So underweight is bad. For less than 45 for a woman.
Less than 45.
Is considered to be underweight.
So dear slay queens, can you hear that? Any weight less than 45 is not ideal for conception. Thank you so much, sir. That's insightful.
Well, that's not to say they can't get pregnant.
Oh, okay.
They can get pregnant, but usually it's difficult around those weights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's difficult around those weights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those are some of the lifestyle. But an interesting lifestyle that we need to look at is, let's look at the work condition, for instance.
Okay.
Do you have farmers, people who are farmers, those who are painters, and those who have to do with chemicals that have some smells, all of those?
Oh, okay.
You know? Yes, so these are all chemicals, okay? And I also like to bring in this category all the cosmetics that women apply on their bodies.
Wow.
Yes, all the cosmetics they apply on their body. Some of the cosmetics are not safe because some have a lot of heavy metals with them, you know. And all of these things, anything you apply, any substance applied on the skin, for instance, is absorbed automatically into the bloodstream.
Wow.
You know, so they cause what we call, they constitute what we call endocrine disruptor factors. Now, these endocrine disruptor factors don't only affect fertility. They affect all hormones in the body. They affect hormones that may cause diabetes. They affect hormones that may cause thyroid abnormalities. But then we're talking fertility. So they affect the fertility hormones, and they disrupt the ability of the body to produce good gametes. Call it eggs or sperms.
Wow.
Yes, and that is a very major problem in our society today.
Today, exactly.
Because we have a lot of substandard cosmetics
products,
you know, that are chemical based. Then, you know, Africa has been encouraging agriculture, you know, and then you have farmers using pesticides, herbicides, and all the sides, all the chemicals they use, and even the fertilizers, you know. And then it's so bad that when these chemicals are applied to farm, these guys stay on the farm, you know, so they live in the chemicals. And so all of these affect eggs, the female eggs, it affects the male sperms, I mean the sperms, affects fertility. In fact, I have seen an agro-allied worker. All he does is to transport agricultural chemicals from the factory or industry to the end users. He has no reason to have abnormal sperm, but just for that.
Wow.
Yes. He has abnormal sperms, inability to conceive because of transportation of agro-allied chemicals. You understand? The same thing goes to those who are painters. Paint has nasty smell, some paints. You inhale all of those things and they interact with the molecules of the body.
Interesting.
So they don't just affect sperms and eggs, they affect other hormones in the body. So but here we're concentrating on sperms and eggs. So these are lifestyles. Call it work-related lifestyle and all of that. They affect fertility. And even if it's IVF that is done, for instance, what we see from the IVF theater or laboratories these days in Africa, and among very young girls that you think you're going to get good eggs, is abnormalities with the eggs. One common denominator is that they do a lot of makeup with substandard products. They drink a lot, they smoke a lot, and all of that. And this produce bad gametes. And when you have bad gametes, you expect poor outcome. So yeah, a lot of lifestyle.
So speaking of drinking and smoking, we're about to break a table right now. So how does excessive intake of alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and caffeine affect fertility?
Yeah, that sounds tough, right? Because the tables are breaking. I was watching UEFA some years ago, UEFA Champions League.
Okay.
And then there was a set that has women and a set that has guys. So for the women, they think that things trick them. They entered the supermarket with a lot of shoes and they started shouting for excitement because of a lot of shoes. And then they opened the store with a lot of Heineken.
Wow.
A lot of beer. And the guys started shouting. Excitement, Yeah, alcohol. Let's not get things wrong. You can drink as much as you want to drink and give birth to as many kids as are possible. You could also smoke as much as you want to smoke and have all the kids you want to have, But then, the quality of gametes you produce are always affected. And I always tell guys that the quality of your offspring is related to the quality of the gametes you produce.
Wow.
Oh, sure.
Wow.
The quality of the offspring is related to the quality of the
gametes you produce.
It may just not have affected them to the point of everyone seeing abnormalities. Eggs have qualities.
Wow.
Sperms
have qualities.
You can ask the embryologists.
Wow.
They will tell you all of this, okay? So yeah, you could be drinking and smoking and then still have no problem with conception. But just what people see, it may affect them to the level that they are subclinical. But then, the truth is this: when fertility becomes an issue, there is no amount of drinking or smoking that is considered safe. What is safe is stay away from it.
Abstinence.
Completely. When fertility becomes an issue.
So there you have it, viewers.
So we're not breaking the table.
Actually, we're not.
Go on drinking, and go on smoking, but when fertility becomes an issue, it's good to take a break.
Take a break. Did you hear that?
Yeah, and then there are times that it becomes difficult to take breaks because these are addictive substances.
Yeah, true.
Now you begin to think about the alcohol baby syndrome, for instance.
Wow, is it something like that, sir?
Yeah, when women consume excess alcohol, for instance, there's a syndrome that affects the babies.
Alcohol baby syndrome.
It makes them look as if they have Down syndrome. The heart is affected. The skeleton, especially the backbone and the bone of the buttocks, the sacral bones, are affected, and then the babies don't do well, in life generally. So, alcohol baby syndrome. So, these are effects of alcohol. Then smoking affects estrogen for women, for instance.
Wow.
So, when estrogen is affected, ovulation becomes problem. Implantation of the fertilized eggs becomes problem because the receptors for estrogens will not be functioning properly. Yeah.
This is amazing.
So that's not to say ladies who smoke don't get pregnant.
They
do
can
get pregnant, you understand? But the chance of running into problem is higher with them when it is related to smoking and estrogen.
This is amazing so far,
so
viewers.
a lot of the lifestyle actually do affect fertility.
Okay, sir, with all of these lifestyle practices, what's the hope for the future of the reproductive health of both the male and the female? What's the hope for the future?
It's to keep the environment clean, for instance.
Okay.
Keep the environment clean and understand every field of life you venture into, for instance. Sometimes you see the European guys cleaning up water bodies. You understand? You wonder whether they don't have work, and that's why they go into ocean with ships. I mean, evacuating plastics and all of that, and cleaning up the environment. And now they don't even serve drinks of food in plastic plates.
Oh,
They
really?
use paper-based plates. I mean,
Are those safer?
yeah, they're safer. Paper-based plates and all of that. They're trying to reduce plastic poisoning.
Wow.
Yeah, because when you dump all this plastic material in the water bodies, the fish eat them, and we eventually end up consuming the fish. And these plastics are not biodegradable. You understand? So they just stay in the system, corrupt the system, and affect not just fertility, affect health. In fact, they have been linked to heightened rate of autism.
Plastics.
Exactly.
My God, this is serious.
Yes, because it doesn't happen drastically as you consume them, you never really know that you're doing something bad. You know, it affects sperm production.
Plastics.
You know? Oh yeah, because they produce chemicals in the body that are estrogen-like. You know, and then they affect the reproductive gonads or the gametes themselves. So yeah, it is very bad. It causes infertility, just the plastics. You know, and all of those things. So in places where people begin to practice environmental friendly behavior, plastics are relegated. Papers are advised. In fact, in some European countries, for instance, when you request for a polythene bag, you are charged extra.
You're serious?
And this is just because they want to discourage people from going into, spoiling the environment with polythene or plastic bags. So yes, so there's hope if everyone does what is right and takes care of his reproductive future. Yeah.
This is such an eye-opening session, viewers. You would agree with me, right? Okay, so before we bring this segment to a close, sir, what are those lifestyle modifications that a couple that are trying to achieve pregnancy through IVF can adopt? What are those lifestyle modifications that they can adopt?
Yeah, or if they're overweight, they should exercise and cut down on the weight. Yeah, that's number one. If they drink and all of that, they should avoid all these other things. They should eat healthy.
Okay.
Yeah, natural foods are encouraging with fertility because a lot of studies have shown that women get pregnant more when they eat natural as against over-processed food material. Okay. So those are some of the things they could do. And ingestion of antioxidants medication or food substances like vegetables. There are medications that are just antioxidants. They take out oxidative stress from the body.
Wow.
And this encourage the gametes to be healthy, at least for the period of fertility. And more importantly, they should be happy. If it's possible, they should be happy because happiness does a lot to the body. It makes the body healthy. It improves the production of dopamine. Dopamine improves the cells in the body, you know, and is feeling of euphoria and well-being, and then it makes gametes a lot better.
Amazing.
Exactly.
So dear viewers, happiness is a therapy.
And it makes people younger.
Wow.
It makes them younger because aging, for instance, happens to sad people often than those who are always happy. Yeah, so it does. And that's why the Bible says that a merry heart or merriment does good like medicine. So that medicine is an across-board medicine. It helps to prevent aging, prevents cancer, prevents fertility failures, and all of that. So yeah, it's a whole lot. But I think when they want to get pregnant by IVF, they should, in league with their gynecologists, you know, have discussions on what lifestyle needs to be modified. In fact, medications that they could be on could be modified. Hypertension on its own. A lot of people at that age may be hypertensive. And you know, the problem with hypertension is that people don't even know how bad it is.
It is.
Hypertension without medication affects sperm production.
Wow.
Hypertension with some medication affects sperm production, you know, and affect the health of sperms, and may affect the outcome negatively of fertility treatment. So even those having medication should watch that those medications are healthy for conception, because you can just be on medication for your good, but it's damaging the gametes. And so I get it sometimes. I see guys, I'm asking the partners, hey, what medication do you take? And hey, what bothers you with my medication? Yeah, because your medication bothers the sperm.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, I'll have to tell you why you fail. You know, because the medications affect sperms.
Wow.
Yeah, they affect sperms. So I think you have to look at a whole lot to just make a couple pregnant. Just a lot. Just a lot.
Well, dear viewers, time will fail us. If you have further questions, please drop your questions in the comment section and we'll try as much as possible to answer those questions. But for now, till we come your way, if you...
The future of tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
The kids.
So, dear future leaders, this is for you.
Yes, I think parents should be a lot more responsible. You know, the gadgets, unnecessary handling of gadgets to kids is not just going to be harmful now, but it's going to be harmful later. You know, we're already looking at a future where men are going to be extinct.
Wow. Because
of lack of sperms. The rate at which young boys, I mean, when I say young boys, I mean toddlers, kids, the kindergartners and the elementary schoolers are handling
gadgets.
Not just ordinary gadgets. Real advanced gadgets. We will get to a stage that you have young guys getting married and not being able to make their partners pregnant, you know, by any means. So I think we should apply some controls.
Parents, your phone is not a pacifier. Please, let's cut down on the use of excessive use of gadgets rather. It's been so insightful today, sir. Thank you so much. I've learned a lot myself. Viewers, I'm sure that you had a great time with us here. Till we come your way again next time, I remain your host, Esther Benjamin. Thank you.